Hey, welcome to Viking Preparedness. I'm Pastor Joe Fox. So, making money off the grid, living out in the boonies away from the suburbs and all those good jobs. How can you make a go of it? You've got a family to raise, you have a spouse to support, yada, yada, yada. Okay, we can go over that a little bit. First thing is be out of debt before you try. Get out of debt. I know, to some people that's like a foreign, impossible thing to do. You got into debt, you can get out of debt. That is beyond the scope of this video. Listen to Dave Ramsey, though, on the radio. He's got a lot of good advice on getting out of debt. Get out of debt. So once you're out of debt, you have all that money that you were spending on debt that you don't need to spend anymore. So that's one thing. So you kind of approach it from two angles. Trying to produce, procure, or do without the things that you normally spent money on, and bringing in streams of income. I have found that people in the country typically have multiple streams of income because it's difficult to get that $70,000 to $250,000 a year job when you live out in the boonies. Difficult, but not impossible. I was thinking before I came out here, how would I keep a great job, you know, where you go into work every day but you get paid a lot of money? Let's say a lawyer, right? And live off grid. Live off grid rough style. Not live off grid like you see on the magazine cover where they have a megawatts of panels and, you know, everything is just like living on grid. But like living in a $300 trailer. How would you live in a $300 trailer where you charge your phone with a little solar panel about this big or plug it into your truck, and you have to heat up water to you know, bathe in your cold trailer? How would you maintain a job? Let's say something like a lawyer, right? How would you do that? Well, change your schedule, join a gym. You know, Planet Fitness, for all its Planet Fatness, you can get a good workout there if you want. You could just go to work early every day, go to Planet Fitness, get a run in, lift some weights, get on the little machine, get the blood flowing, your brain working, go take a shower. You can shave there and take a shower there, put on your suit and go to work. You could do that every day. It would actually be good for you, and it costs $10 whole a month. You know, people living in regular houses are spending more than $10 a month on hot water, if you think about it. So you could do that, and then, you know, you just go into work looking like everybody else. There are people all over this country who actually hold down real jobs and live in their car, and they do it in a similar way. They usually go to a gym or the Y or something like that, get cleaned up before work, and then go to work, and nobody knows. So you could do that. All right, streams of income. First of all, grow as much food as you can. Grow all the veggies you can, grow all the eggs and chickens, and if you know you eat meat, either shoot it or catch it, and then put it up. If initially, and really it is easier to get a place with electricity and running water, right? And then you can have a deep freeze and a full-size refrigerator and just put up a lot of food. You know, grow a bazillion tomatoes in your garden and make tomato sauce. And you do know how to can, right? Canning tomatoes is super easy. Even I can do that. If not, learn. It's not hard. You can can meat. You need a pressure canner for that. But you could put up a lot of food so that you don't have to spend money on groceries. Clothes. You don't need special clothes to homestead. You know, Goodwill will work fine after you run out of all those clothes that are no longer fashionable that you have in your closet. Wear them to garden. Who cares? And stuff like that. So money streams. Let me just think about some of the ones I know around here. Work on cars if you have that skill. You know, people do all the time. Hey, yeah, I can change your transmission out. It'll cost you $600 plus parts. Okay. It'll cost you $200 plus parts, you know, whatever. I pay a couple chauffeurians to work on some of my stuff just because I got to pay somebody to do it. I don't have the time or the inclination to be a mechanic. I just don't. And so I'm going to pay somebody. I'd rather pay a chauffeurian. And so that puts some money in their pocket, and I get good service. So working on vehicles. If you have a tractor doing tractor work for people, people will pay you to come bush hog their field or mow their field or plow up, disc up where they want to put their garden, that kind of thing. I see people around here do that. You can raise and sell critters. Goats and cows, cattle, they sell at the auction barn. And so you get them young or you make your own for cheap. And then you raise them up, and then right before you have to start feeding them a lot of hay in the winter, you sell them at the barn, and you'll make money doing that. You can write, for magazines or blogs or whatever, and there's a little bit of money that comes in from that, writing magazine articles and things like that. A book is great, but a book takes a long time before you start getting paid. I'm talking about money right now. My daughter-in-law makes food. Like, I gave her this idea. I learned this idea when I was in Thai language school. One of the teachers took orders every day for the next day's lunch, and it was like $6, and she'd bring in some kind of Thai food lunch that you'd eat. Was it out of an approved kitchen? I doubt it. It probably came out of her kitchen. It was delicious, and it was worth $6. My daughter-in-law does something similar like that. She makes food for people. And, they pay her a couple bucks to do it. She also bakes like cakes and delicious cakes, and they're beautiful. And, when they told me she was making cupcakes, I'm like, she make money on cupcakes? Oh yeah. These cupcakes? Oh yeah. So things like that, she makes money doing that. Scrapping metal. Just start saving metal, finding metal, drive around the rich section of town on the day when they can throw out all the swing set stuff, pick up the metal, bring it home. Once you have a big enough pile, take it to the recycle place and sell it. Sometimes people sit on their piles until the price of steel goes up. People in the country know what the price of steel is, and they sell their aluminum and stuff like that. My one daughter collects aluminum cans, not only from herself but from everybody else, and she turns those in and gets money. And heck, if you live in Oregon and Washington, you get 5 cents a can. That's like real money. What else do people do for money? Construction, light construction work. If you're not high, you're not on drugs, and you're not an alcoholic, you can get a job. They'll make you a supervisor in 2 weeks. And again, nobody, I don't think, wants to leave the hamster wheel of 40, 60-hour weeks, come out to the country and work for somebody else 40, 60 hours a week. And so you get a couple part-time gigs that you've got going on, or gigs that you can kind of take when you want and not. My dad used to work. His neighbor was a arborist, trimmed trees in the rich section of town, and every now and then he needed some guy to hold a rope or something, and he'd take my dad out, and he'd pay my dad to help him, every now and then. You can do that. What else do people do? I'm thinking what other people do around here. They do construction work. They sell cattle and chickens and eggs. You can sell eggs. You just use your imagination. People wheel and deal. They'll buy something on a yard sale, like a broken down lawnmower, fix it up, and then turn around and sell it for twice what they bought it for. I know a guy that buys cars from old people who have, they need a new head gasket, which for most older cars, if it needs a new head gasket, the car is worth less than the work's going to cost. So he'll buy a nice looking car that needs a new head gasket, just take his time, replace the head gasket, turn around and sell the car for decent money. I've seen him do that. What else can you do? You can give classes. If you can instruct something, there are always people who are willing to pay you to take your class. And you can advertise. I don't really care where you are. There's a city within striking distance, right, that you could drive to and offer classes on whatever. You know how to can? There's people who want to know how to can. Find a place to teach canning. People will come. You can charge them to learn how to can. Things like that. Seamstress. If you want to sew things, you can still get some work doing that in some places. You could get a couple part-time, like real jobs, but just, work at Lowe's 10 hours a week, something like that. But I think above and beyond all of that, those are all little money income streams. Because, costs gas, takes gas money to put in your truck that you're going to go scrap steel with, you know, that kind of thing. I get it. You're not going to be able to raise all the food you want to eat. Ketchup is worth every penny you pay for it. I've made ketchup before. It was delicious, but it's a lot of work. So, you know, I buy ketchup. Here's the thing, though. Once you don't have a lot of money, disposable income, your priorities really change. They really do. And once you move out away from all the people with all the disposable income, the Joneses quit caring. People around here really don't care what you wear. But I remember when I lived in Northern Virginia, it was vitally important what you wore. I mean, it was just important on a bunch of different levels. It was important what you drove. Nobody out here washes their car. Why do you wash the outside of your car? You remove that protective layer of dirt. I mean, I get it when there's salt on it, right? You want to preserve your steel. But as far as, you know, you're driving around, it rains, you get mud up on your car and stuff. Why do you, come on. People don't do that. You're saving money right there. People just don't care. When you don't have money, you don't spend it on frivolous things. You know, eating out at McDonald's or Burger King is a lot of money. That costs a lot of money compared to a big glass of milk, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and an apple. And so you just quit spending money on stuff like that. A lot of people don't want to do that. I don't want to live like that. Okay, America. Stay in there in Babylon with all those shiny, good-smelling things, you know? Cool. There's a price for that. There's a high price for that. It's more than just money. It's lifestyle. I don't have the things now. I can't buy the things now that I used to have and be able to buy. Clearly, I'm making a choice. Clearly. And I'm okay with that. I like the way I live out here. You may not. And if you don't, go on with your bad self. It is different when you have kids, but it's not totally different. I tell people this all the time. There are poor people raising their kids in the country, and those kids are doing great. And the family's doing great. And they all sit around the table and say prayers at night and kiss each other goodnight when they put them to bed and, you know, get to spend time with their family. And yeah, they don't have a lot of money, and they can't go buy a new F-250 Super Duty. They don't really care. So there's that. Simplify your life. Decide what you really need to spend money on. Do you really need to spend money on that? You don't. Probably no, you don't. And just enjoy the simpler things in life. Get to know people instead of stuff. I hope that was helpful. I know some of you all have hints and tips that you can put in here for, you know, things to do to save money or make money in the country. Did I mention firewood? You can cut firewood. I don't find it's really worth the effort, though. By the time I cut, split, and deliver the firewood for what you get paid for it, oof. But I know people who do it. Have a guy that I know that has a sawmill, one of those sawmills, and he started out making lumber. There was no money in that, so now he just does specialty stuff for people, and there's money in that because it's rich people who want the specialty stuff, so you charge them more. I mean, it is how it is. Yeah. The real thing is not how are you going to make money. The real thing is what are you willing to give up to have the lifestyle. Some deep thought in there. All right. Maybe I'll see you out here.